gathered at the invitation of the Northeast Georgia Peace Council to celebrate Martin Luther King Day. The first time was in 1986 when we all met at the First Presbyterian Church and walked over here to Shady Grove. Other events sponsored by the Peace Council through the years that I am aware of include fellowship picnics, international festivals, and the making of a peace quilt to be sent to the former Soviet Union, while we did have a Soviet Union at that time. And those are just to name a few. But I would suggest that the Martin Luther King Day Walk has been the central activity of the Council's efforts. As we look back over the 25 years, there are so many people that have played a part in keeping the Northeast Georgia Peace Council intact. I know it's a little crowded, but either stand or wave. I'd rather you stand to see anyone who is a member now or has ever been a member of the Northeast Georgia Peace Council. Please stand up. So today I have come here to share with you how the very first community meeting came about. And that's over a quarter of a century ago. Ouch. That kind of makes us a little older, doesn't it? Now, Sheila Parham was a person that many of you knew and loved. For me, she was my best friend. For those of you who did not get a chance to know Sheila, she was a doer, an organizer, a helper, a wonderful mother, a steady and supportive friend. But not only that, she had a spirit and an energy that pulled people together. How appropriate that the Council has chosen today to dedicate in her memory. So here's how it all began. A few months before I moved to this area, I became a Baha'i. How lucky I was that Sheila became a Baha'i soon after I arrived. We were both raising our children and had time to get together to study the writings of our newly accepted faith. Some of the concepts we were studying have been mentioned here already, and will probably continue to be mentioned today. The idea that all the major religions have come from one single God. They came at different times and under differing social conditions. Nevertheless, they had the same spiritual purpose. And although the people of those religions may worship differently, they are worshiping the same God. Another concept we were studying was that all human beings are members of one human family. Although we may look a little different because of skin color, hair color, eye color, those are only superficial differences. And what connects us is far greater than this thin covering of skin over our body. Baha'u'llah says, "O people of the world, ye are all the fruit of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Walk with perfect charity, concord, affection, and agreement." We studied how prejudices of all kinds are damaging to human society. Racial prejudice is especially damaging as it violates the dignity of the human being. It cripples the victim, corrupts the perpetrator. And furthermore, we read that it was our responsibility as Baha'is to eliminate all forms of prejudice from our hearts. Well, this is quite a tall order, since we as individuals are often not even aware of our prejudices. But one thing is certain, we can't eliminate our prejudice if we never interact with those who are different from us. So it makes sense that the first step to eliminating prejudice is to interact. So Sheila and I knew something had to be done, because we read from the writings that, as Jake has mentioned, let deeds, not words, be your adorning. Now, we couldn't just read and discuss for weeks on end, so we felt we had to act. So we looked around the community and saw something that troubled us. We're sitting in the place called the Hill. African Americans lived on the Hill. And white people lived everywhere else. Now there wasn't much interaction going on at that time, at least from what we could see. We brainstormed. Then we decided to put it to the community. Let's organize a meeting and allow the community to address this problem. The theme of the meeting would be ways to foster greater racial understanding. We asked the minister from this church. We didn't know him. We just looked, yes. We decided to organize a meeting that would allow us, we asked Reverend David Mitchell of Shady Grove. We didn't know him. We were a little uncertain. We asked him. He agreed. Reverend Scoggins, we asked, from the First Presbyterian. He agreed. We also invited Ann Brenneman, a Baha'i speaker. She agreed. We were now excited. We had a meeting planned. So we sent out invitations to all those interested to meet in the gymnasium of Cornelia Elementary School. We had about 35 people attend, and those who attended the meeting agreed to form a council in order to promote greater racial interaction and understanding in our community. It was at the second meeting that in 1985 that the first Martin Luther King Day observance was planned. If you were at that meeting, can you stand up, please? I know Sarah was there. I know Dot was there. I know Betty was there. Now, through all of this, Sheila Parham was a guiding force. But that meeting was in fall, and she passed away on Christmas Day of that very same year. The first Martin Luther King Day observance was held in January of 1986. Her husband, Larry Parham, stepped into her shoes to carry on her work. We dedicated that observance to her memory, and here 25 years later, we are doing the same thing. For those who loved her and miss her, for those who love her and miss her still, the endurance of this council and the yearly observance are testaments to her vision. May the council continue to work toward the elimination of all forms of prejudice in the memory of Sheila's vision. I would like to end with two quotes from the Baha'i writings. Prejudice, whether religious, racial, patriotic, or political, are destructive to the foundations of human development. And the well-being of mankind, its peace and security, are unattainable unless and until its unity is firmly established. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patsy, for that in the beginning, all that the March stand for in the Peace Council. Now we're going to enter into it. We got a few more speakers, and And I see here a lot of it is about education. And I know we got a man in our audience that is one of our top educators in this county, Mr. Robert Costly. So if he just stand and come up here just for a few minutes, I'm going to change the program a little bit. Before we hear from some of these other educators, look like. Come on. Amen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You take a class when you are going to superintendent school and you realize that anytime you attend